Gloria with Glory Be Resale, and I'm here to do a haul of what sold last week, and that would have been from April 14th to the 20th. So let's get on with it and see what sold. The first thing to sell was on eBay, a home storage of vegetables and fruits from 1960s pamphlet and from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and that sold for $12.61. The next thing to sell was the beach plum in Massachusetts, and that pamphlet sold. That was also probably from the 60s, 50s or 60s. And that sold, I had two of these, so they bought both of them at $12.61 a piece. The same person bought all three items. So that was nice. The next item to sell on eBay was this vintage signed oil painting of a German man with a full white beard and a pipe. And this I picked up for at Tops. It was 5 or $10. I'm not quite sure which. It was taped on in the back, and the frame had some damage, but it was a cool old painting. I could not find the artist, though I did find somebody else who had one listed, and it looked like the same signature. And let me just go down a little. I just want to show you. Do I have a close-up of the signature? I guess it's right here, but it's sideways. But you see that round circle? That was also part of the signature. So I thought that was interesting because I did find another one because I wasn't sure what that circle was, but I found another one and it had that signature and the circle. So I guess it's part of their signature. The next item to sell was this Michael Starr's women's green linen jacket. And this, I took an offer of $20 on that. And the cost to me on it was $5.49. The next item to sell was this Onyx men's cologne, this vintage Onyx. And I picked this up at an estate sale at a little mini mansion that I went to a few months ago. And I'm gonna say it probably cost me about $2.50 each, 2 to 2.50. And I sold this one for $20. The next item to sell was this Metalita cotton blend professional lab coat. And this is the last one I have of the lab coats. I had got, I don't know, I'm gonna say probably around 6 of them at one time. I'd say somebody had died and they donated all the doctor or whatever, and they donated all of his lab coats, all pressed and cleaned to Goodwill. So I bought all but one that was really dirty and, had fallen on the floor. I just didn't want to be bothered with that one. And they all sold pretty well. This one actually I think was the best because I got the full asking price of $65. And the others I think I probably sold for around 45. But I paid $3.25 each for all of them. And so great buy. And I made a great profit on them. The next item was this dialogue little, linen jacket op with the button front, and it had shell buttons on the front of it, and this sold for, uh, $25.52, and the cost to me on it was $4. Now over to, Poshmark, the first thing that sold over there was this Barber women's belted red jacket. Um, and this had the plaid inside the hood and inside these zip sleeves. I picked this up at an estate sale. It did have a stain on the hood, but someone still bought it. They had made an offer on this one of, I believe, $67 was the offer. And I paid $5 at an estate sale back in, outside of Boston last year when I was there. Last fall, probably, I think. And so that was a nice profit. The next item to sell was this Calvin Klein red dress, and this sold for $25. And the cost to me on it was $5.49. The next item was this Eileen Fisher, and this was a midi dress with the round neck, and this had been sitting around for a long time. Somebody sent me an offer of $29 and I accepted it. The cost to me on it was $7.50. So, not a great profit, but Eileen Fisher just does not sell the same as it used to. It used to, as soon as you put it up, you got top dollar. So it still sells, but it's more of a bread and butter. So I wouldn't pay up for it. The next item to sell was this vintage Christopher Banks um, jacket with embroidered bees and ladybugs and butterflies, and this sold for $25 and I paid $5.99. The next item, and if you wouldn't mind, like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. Uh, all the views help. I appreciate everything you do. And the next item was this Vince Camuto camouflage cardigan sweater. And this I've had forever too. This, obviously, I had it from Boston. Uh, can tell by the mannequin. And this, somebody sent me an offer of $20 and I said yes. And it cost me $5.49. Happy to see it go. It's been here way too long. And the last item for Poshmark was this little gold Hollywood Regency shelf. And this I picked up for $1 and I took an offer of $15 for it. And happy to move that along. And over to Etsy. And the first thing to sell on Etsy, and I don't think these haven't been listed all that long either. They sat in my garage for at least since last summer. I bought them at a yard sale, I think probably the beginning of last summer, maybe even the spring. And they just sat in the garage. I finally went through the box one day and put them up. And it didn't take all that long. I'm gonna say maybe a month or two, maybe two tops. And these I paid a dollar a piece at tops, and I sold a pair for $39. So very happy with that sale. And the last thing to sell on Etsy, I lost it here. The last thing to sell on Etsy was also something I didn't, I think, sat around forever, and I just recently listed it because I'm trying to go through things that are in the garages. I have a couple of garages, and I just have stuff everywhere that I'm trying to get it under control. So this I recently listed. It was a utensil caddy, or you could put, I suppose, if you had the round bottles of ketchup and hot sauce or whatever, you could put those in there too for the cookout. But this was a wicker caddy, flatware holder, and I paid $2.99 for this and sold it on Etsy for $27, and I sold it fairly quickly. And that is everything that I sold last week. So, again, I would be happy if you shared what you're selling and again, what's your high priced or what's not worth selling, whatever. Whatever you want to share, I'd really appreciate it. I love to hear it. I love to know what other people are doing, um, what's working for them, what's not working for them. So, anyway, again, like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks and bye.